guys, how's it going? So Ben, my producer, and I were just talking about cars. Oh, cars. Because mine is, yeah, she's getting there. She's getting there, you know? She doesn't, I don't, have a car payment, which is lovely. And she's pretty old, 2012. But she's getting to the point where my mechanic was like, well, this spring you might want to start looking, because it's now to the point where, it's like every few months there's like a little thing that's going on her, right? But I just said to him too, though, like we've had all this crazy, really like 40 below weather, and I'm gonna knock on wood right here. I'm knocking, because she starts every morning. I haven't plugged her in. So, there's that. Hey, listen, today on the show, we have Tracy squared. We have Tracy and Tracey. One spells it with an EY and the other one just with a Y. Now, Tracy with a Y, Tracy Sloan, was here just a few weeks ago with her husband, Jeff. They came in to talk about the Santa Fund and about, his business, Good Riddance, and everything they do, the DIA downtown improvement area that they were involved in. So she's back. She's back. And now she's brought her friend, Tracy Richardson, who created Buster's page on Facebook. I hope you know about it. I am not on Facebook, but today at work, when I was, near the end of the day, I was talking to my coworkers and saying, hey, I'm going to be talking to some people about Buster's page. They all knew what Buster's page was, so that's awesome, and they were happy to hear that too. So yeah, we have them on the show. We're going to be talking about, what Buster's page is, where it came from, and just all the really amazing things that we're doing in this community to help our animals, because we can't forget about them too, especially when it's like 40 below. I just don't want them to be cold outside. That would suck. Yeah, they're so sweet, and they just need our love, because they just love us. Like Stuart here, who's not in the studio, but Stuart's my buddy. I love Stuart. Okay, let's get into the show, but before that, Ben, the producer, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna say it. He's like, don't forget to say Toyota. It's time to Toyota with North Bay Toyota. They are our sponsor. We'll see you soon. Oh, I guess I should say I'm Lisa Boivin, and this is To North Bay with Love.
It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota. Attention truck lovers. Have you been Tundra struck? The powerful and dependable Toyota Tundra is the new definition of grit. Ask us about amazing lease deals on a 2025 Tundra Double Cap SR 4-wheel drive and experience ingenious levels of capability, technology, and refinement. Or maybe you're an SUV lover? Take advantage of a limited shipment of 2025 RAV4s and discover the perfect blend of style, comfort, and efficiency in a compact SUV that ignites your desire to explore. Right now, get excellent lease deals on the Toyota RAV4 LE all-wheel drive and more. It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota, 640 McEwen, or online at northbaytoyota.com for details.
I am not on Facebook. And at work today, I was telling people that I was having Tracy and Tracy in to talk about Buster's page, and everybody right away knew what it, like they were like, oh, like the little dog rescue, oh, like the little animal, yeah. And so it's known, Buster's page. But when did it start? Like how did it start, or why?
It's been 11 years. It started actually, my dog, my puppy actually got out while I wasn't home. And a family member opened the door and he bolted.
No.
So, yeah. So we just kind of I put it on Facebook because I didn't really know what else to do.
Yep.
And so it turned into a page and there was so many people supporting it. It was just amazing because it was my daughter's puppy. She's 8. She's bawling. And then there's all these people, well, we'll go put flyers out and we'll go help search and do all this stuff. And it just kind of turned into a whole community thing. She was on the news, they interviewed my daughter about her dog.
No way.
Yeah, there was tons of people helping, and it didn't it didn't end well, but it was from months. So it was from December, the beginning of December till the end of April.
Wow. And that you were looking.
He was spotted all the time, but he was so skittish that and he had gotten chased. So he just kept running. So eventually he changed his pattern and he'd only roam at night. And it was But that's how it started. And then when we did find him, someone found him and they contacted me. then my daughter's like, let's keep the page so that no one has to feel that again. And I was like, okay, didn't realize it was going to take off that way. But yeah, that's how it started.
So how many people follow this page now? You must have
Between 10 and 12,000, something like that.
Wow.
I haven't checked recently.
And all local-ish or other cities, because there's no other Buster's pages, I would imagine.
No.
This is unique to North Bay.
Buster, but it's all over, but mostly North Bay. The post reach go really high. We've had one post reach go to 500,000.
Wow.
So I don't know where the people were, but there's been a lot.
Holy.
And,
That's
but
awesome.
when Buster was missing, I was getting messages from people in the States and, oh, you should just get your dog another puppy. And, they were following it. So I don't know how that all happened, but yeah.
So did you find Buster?
Yeah. Well, someone found him. People were feeding him, which was good.
Yeah.
So it was really cold and they had been feeding him. And I guess after a little while, they just stopped feeding him, but he had went back to a spot that was feeding him and he didn't survive. Yeah, by that point
Buster.
it was
okay. Yeah.
But it's funny, because we were at the O&R, we used to stay in the parking lot overnight to wait to see him. The O&R staff was amazing. Aww. And we'd stay, and there was an older gentleman that's there, and he always used to yell to us, "There's no dog here." And, it's okay. He was really kind of grumpy. And then the last person to see him was him.
Oh.
Yeah, and he called me and he's like, "Tracy," he's like, "I'm the old man that yells at you all the time." And I'm like, "Stanley?" You're just so nice,
no
though.
way.
But, and he's like, "I never would have believed it, but your dog just ran past me."
Wow.
And that was the last time that anyone's seen him. The weather, it was April 20th. It was Easter weekend. And had been pretty mild leading up to that. And then it had dropped to -20. And he just didn't have anything left in him.
It was
So.
just a tiny pug, right?
Yeah, it was just a little black pug. He was 8 months old, and he survived a long time, but we just couldn't get him.
Yeah. I mean, good. That is a long time to survive.
Yeah,
on his
he was
own,
tough
figure out
little
where you
guy.
can get food
Yeah.
and stuff. And
Yeah.
But okay, so
That's how it started.
that's how it started.
Yeah.
So how is it going?
It's nonstop. And I can only say that because I'm not even admin for the page.
So what
I
is your
just
role?
help.
How do you help?
I just,
Every way.
I think it was maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Something like that.
6 or 7 years
and
ago.
I saw a post saying this little black terrier was running around the O&R and stuff like that, a completely separate dog. And it was breaking my heart because it was -40. It was one of those super cold. And I thought, well, this isn't right. So I started messaging with Tracy. And so we would set up times to go set up, to look at the traps and get the traps. Because when you're live trapping in the winter, you have to be there. You can't just set up a live trap and then walk away.
No,
and then say, let's see what happens in the morning. You can't do that, right?
Yeah.
So I just started from there, and then we just, there were more sightings, and then it was just like an obsession, and then we caught him.
He was our
caught
2-year dog.
We called him the
Sheep.
white whale. We called him the white whale.
For 2 years, you
2
tried to
years,
get him.
people spotted her all over the place, but we couldn't narrow down a spot to set the traps.
Right.
And then finally, she started hanging around the water treatment plant. At the,
I think I was just gonna say. Remember, this was years ago.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah,
and I remember
that's
driving
what it
around
is.
the water treatment
Yes.
plant
Yeah,
looking
that's where
for
we
her.
ended up catching her.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where we caught her.
So
and
where
then
is
ever
she-
since then,
Yeah.
it's and then now you just want to help.
Right.
Now you just have to help.
Yeah. It must be so satisfying when you finally get them in that trap.
Yeah.
But they're freaked out, obviously.
It's so weird because I always expect us to get bit. I really
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
I say
yeah.
it all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And I said, when we caught Pepper, she's with my daughter's dad now.
Oh,
But when we
nice.
caught her, I'm said to my daughter, "Don't stick your fingers in the cage."
Yeah.
And we're on the way home, and I look, and she's got her hand in the cage petting the dog. I'm like, all right, there we go.
There we go. She was fine.
But, yeah, they seem to calm down,
Yeah.
even Blue. I thought we'd have problems with one we trapped last year.
Oh my God, yes, last summer. And we sat there, this poor dog. So I guess for 2 weeks, people had seen this dog running around and nobody said anything. They were just like, oh, there's a dog. Say something. If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
And so somebody finally said something on Buster's page, and then other people were chirping in.
Yeah.
And so Tracy and I were like, okay, let's go.
This
so we
is
went to, I don't know how many times we've knocked on strangers' doors going,
yeah.
hi,
Constantly.
you don't know us, but... So we asked people if we could let them, we could set a trap there. And most people are very gracious about it. And so this one dog, we set the trap and the woman let us sit inside. Like you could see right there, like the trap was there, the dog was there. Dog walked in. Dog was very smart.
Very smart.
Stepped over the trap, ate the food, and then walked out.
Like,
we
thanks,
were like,
guys.
That's the first time that's happened. Yeah, we actually, I believe we sent the video. We did eventually catch Blue, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rosie was another. That was the bloodhound. There was like 4 or 5 of them dumped around North Bay between Sargent and Mattawa, pretty much.
Yeah.
And she was the same way with the videos. Like we'd watch and she would like go in, grab a little bit, and then back out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
You're like,
God.
no, just
Because we had trail cams. We have trail cams. So we could check.
Smart. Yeah.
Just to make sure, because it's like sometimes we'll go back to a trap
and
be like, where's the food? And then we don't know if it's a live animal, like if a wild
raccoon
animal
or something. Sure.
Yeah. But sorry, just to go back to your initial question. So you're asking about, Blue.
Yeah.
So that was a funny one for us because this dog was coming in and out. And when we did catch Blue, and most dogs are very erratic, cats too, but they all are calm.
Yeah.
Maybe not cats so much because they get a little spazzy, but every dog has been calm because it's almost like they're thankful. Like,
It's almost like they know
we're
that
going to get
there's-
out of the cold or the rain in this case with Blue.
He
It was
was
freezing.
really good.
Yeah. Anyway.
But so that's how so initially it started with missing and found pets. So like on the page we would people would send their information, post it, and the community would share it, and and because everyone was like trying to help and whatever, the animals were getting home. Well, then it kind of branched out because sometimes there was long-term runners that just wouldn't stop. Like Blue was one of them. He was like he was afraid of everybody.
Yeah.
And we've had some cats that are like that too. They just won't,
Right.
So then you put the traps out, and that's how we got into the trapping. We've caught lots of things.
We've got quite a few traps, quite a few little skills we've learned.
Where do you get the traps?
We buy them.
Bought them.
Oh, okay, just bought them. Okay, and then set them up. So all different like sizes and everything.
We
and they're
got
all just
like coyote right down to we call them kitten traps. They're squirrels.
Yeah.
Did you ever trap like a mama cat and her kitten? Because I heard like you should always get the kittens first.
Yes.
Because then the mama. Because if you take them, no wait, or is it the other way around? Get the mom first.
You want to get the kittens
You
first.
got to get the kitten first because then the mom will keep coming back, right?
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, I want my babies back.
Go ahead. Tell that story.
We got one. I think it's called Colette, the street. It was something.
Yeah, it was Colette Street.
We went and we the first thing we catch is the mom. And she was a beautiful cat, and she calmed down, but we had no choice but to release her.
Right, because you don't know where the little babies are.
And we never saw her again. We caught all the babies, but we never got the mom.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I see on my TikTok stories, I see now that there's this thing. I'm going to have to buy one because I have the perfect back porch for it, right? I have this kind of like, it's covered and it's like 3 walls, this lovely little back porch. And when I first moved into my place, it was like pretty nice outside. Anyways, I had my back door open and I don't have a storm door, right? It's just like the metal door. So anyways, back door was open, just get some breeze in there. And I was cooking and all of a sudden I hear, and I turn around and I was like, hello. And there was a little calico cat. Now she had a collar and a little bell and everything. So I'm like, okay, obviously. And I pet her and then I never saw her again. So hopefully she, went home. But I like in the winter, it's a thing and it's like, what's it called? Clawpapple or something like this. It's like this. It's a play on like claw. Something.
Okay.
Anyways, and it's like this little, looks like almost like a cooler, like a soft-sided cooler with 2 doors. There's like a door for the cat to go in, but then there's a back door too, in case predators come in while the cat's in there or another cat.
Yeah,
and
like
they
a
fight or
little
something, they can get out.
little warm spot for the cat.
And it's like, about this big, and you can put food in there, and it's got a heating pad in it, so you plug it in, it's got a little heating pad, and they show the little stray cats kind of going in, and they're like sleeping and stuff. And I'm like, I need one of these things for my backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
But then
a
I'm like,
few
I'll probably catch
places.
a raccoon, but I would have a pet raccoon.
We've caught our share of raccoons.
I bet.
Skunks.
Skunkies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people will call, like, saying that there's baby raccoons. We need somebody to help. Or there's a
Guess what?
raccoon they're on the road. Or
Yeah.
whatever. And you're like, and you're thinking like, this isn't a pet that needs
Right.
help.
No, and
but
they growl.
We can't not go.
Yeah.
So there are pictures, the ones that we sent. It's not just cats and dogs that we rescue.
No, like we had a little baby raccoon that like they came out of a tree and we had been looking for
Yeah.
them, and someone had spotted it, and we're looking, and I was in this lady's yard, and I'm looking in her yard and her garden, and I see the rain had washed the sand over him. He was about this big, and I thought he was dead, and then I seen him move a little bit, so I picked him up and I like put him against me. I'm warming him up, you know, like right away, but when he warmed up, he was feisty.
Oh, I bet you.
Yeah, I've been growled at, and we've cut like
They sound like little cats. They purr like little cats.
Yeah.
I love baby raccoons.
They coo.
They're adorable. Yeah, they're adorable.
But you don't want one as a pet.
No, I
And
don't want them
you
in my
legally
house
can't
either.
have one as a
no.
pet, so
No.
Yeah, leave them
don't
alone.
leave it alone.
Yeah.
That's right, unless it's hurt. But do you guys ever because that would be who would you call like for wild animals like that, like a raccoon or something, or like a deer that was hurt or whatever? Is that like M&R? No, who do you call for that?
Well,
Like, who-
usually it's M&R, but they won't intervene unless it's really absolutely necessary.
Okay.
Well,
And that's
I'm just going to
dispatch.
say that.
We'll just say-
I'm just going to say that.
Okay.
So normally, if there is a wild animal that we are able to help, then we will either usually ask somebody in the area if they know what to do, or there's Turtle Pond Wildlife Sanctuary, which is in Valcarin.
Okay.
They will most likely take almost every animal that you can bring to them as long as you bring it to them.
Okay.
Right? So we have to often go, or she'll make posts, there's a baby
somebody-
bird that's injured, can you take it?
yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Or Aspen Wildlife Sanctuary.
Okay.
For larger animals, they've taken animals that, or come to help.
Yeah.
When
They actually,
that we needed.
there was a deer that had a band wrapped around it.
Yeah.
And we tried everything to get this deer help, like everything. It was months. And we went to like all the media and whatever. And finally it gained a lot of traction.
Because of the
like, you know,
media.
yeah.
Right.
Because then all
Right.
these people were invested in it because it was cutting in like really bad.
What kind of a band? Like a zip
it was,
tie?
It
kind
was
of
like
thing?
a deer. Sorry, you could tell it. When it was a fawn, in some way, it probably jumped through a fence.
through it, right.
And it could fit.
Yep.
But then it stuck to it.
Got the thing.
And then
so
it
now-
started to grow,
Yep.
and it was actually in my dad's backyard. So
No way.
so I called. We called the M&R, we were
Yeah,
all
yeah.
over those people, and so I called CBC Radio, and as soon as the
Soon as the media,
knew,
I know, girl,
then
yes.
they came,
Yeah.
and they tranquilized
Good.
the deer, and
Yeah.
they just snipped it off.
I mean,
and
it
the
takes
deer
2
still
seconds.
comes to my dad's.
Yeah,
See?
well, we had to do the feeding station.
Yeah.
So we were bringing like huge bags of apples to get this deer.
And carrots.
Because they said we need to know where it is.
Yeah.
Because they're coming in from out of town. So
Right.
they couldn't wait around.
Yeah.
So we were like piling all these apples. and
Here you
everything.
go.
Yeah.
Buffet is served.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
And she had a fawn.
Yeah.
With her.
Yeah. No, after she
after.
was fixed,
After.
she healed. And yeah.
Yeah.
See, and she couldn't have done that. I mean, she
No,
wouldn't
she
be here
wouldn't have
anymore. It would have
made it
killed her.
much
Would have like.
longer.
Do you imagine how painful and gross that would have been if it just kept cutting it?
There's actually right now on Lake Nosbonsing, there's an otter who is in the same position where it's got something around it.
No.
And it's surviving. It is surviving, but it's a young otter,
Yeah.
and you could see that it's tight. So
And
I
it's got
did,
its paws.
yeah, or
trapped
something
in.
like that.
Oh.
So I did reach out and I gave her all the information that I
Okay.
could and said, "This is what you need to do."
Yeah.
media.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they can't. I guess otters are moving back and forth, so they can't.
They can't
They
really
don't know
trap
where
it.
it
They
is,
don't
but
know.
there
Yeah.
are quite a lot of people looking
Yeah.
right now. So
Yeah.
that's besides the point.
That's another video
That's
I see
not
all the time
Buster's
of
thing.
like.
Yeah, that's wildlife stuff.
That's
Yeah.
wildlife stuff. Okay, so why? Obviously, COVID had a major effect on how many dogs and cats we have right now. And I know even like with Keen's Canine, like Chip is saying, that was a huge issue because COVID happened. People were at home. They had time to get a dog and to, do the whole puppy thing. So they did. But then everybody went back to work. And now they had these because a puppy, socializing is the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
And, these dogs just weren't and stuff. So then there was a lot of behavior issues that were coming out of COVID puppies or COVID dogs, as we call them, just because, they weren't around people. They weren't around situations. They were very, and now people are back at work and, now the dogs are like, hey, why am I alone all day? That's okay. I'll just eat your drywall.
Well, but the thing,
And then there's, other issues and behavioral issues that are coming up.
That's true, but that just burns my arse. When people are like,
Burns my ears.
my dog's
know.
left alone for 6 or 7 hours a day now. It's like it's better than being left alone in a shelter.
That's right.
Or dumped.
Where it's
That's right.
chaos
Yeah.
or dumped
Yeah.
or just given away to somebody who
Yeah.
probably isn't or may not have the right intentions. Which
And I
we've
think
seen,
that's fine. I mean, because the dog will get used to it. But I think what's happening too is like a lot of dogs maybe aren't used to it.
and they're being destructive because of it. Right.
And then therefore they are brought to places or left places or whatever, right? They're kind of
Absolutely.
rehomed, we will say.
Right.
And so therefore now the places are overrun. And I was just saying to Ben, my producer, that we were at the Humane Society just before Christmas talking to Janet, and she was saying like this may be a year, like this could be the first year in years that they may have to euthanize because of just space issues, And so every rescue is feeling it. And so, like, how is it on Buster's page? Like, how?
It's constant.
Is it? I mean, it's missing animals, but is it also now a place where people are like, hey, I need to rehome. I need to.
Yeah, we do it
Transition.
as a courtesy post because we like to keep it for missing and lost, but or found. But yeah, we get it a lot. Like, well,
we have
like
another
constantly.
page.
Yeah, there is another page that Tracy. It's rehoming pets, North Bay, Ontario.
Just for that,
No
so
way.
people don't. Just say dump.
You don't want to
them,
mix them,
or them go to a shelter. So it's like, what can we do to try and stop people from just dumping their animals? Well, let's create a page that's affiliated with Buster's because Buster's has a good reputation.
Yep.
And so if you really want to like not get rid of, but if you need to rehome your animal or you don't want your animal anymore, put it on this rehoming page.
Okay.
And then people will look, and it's like usually the animals are they're for free.
Yep.
And then Tracy will often monitor the page and say, okay, these are the things that you need to be looking for when you're rehoming your pet.
Right.
Or when you're going to take in
When
a
you're
pet.
going to take in a pet. Yeah.
And
So
a
it's just
big
all
thing
about-
is trying to redirect people because people get really angry at people rehoming.
Right.
Like, understandably so. It's not,
Yeah.
But so what happens is, and we've seen it a lot, is people want to rehome regardless of their reason. They've already made that decision.
Yeah.
Like
Doesn't matter.
That's
Think
done.
about the
That's
animal
right.
first.
That's right.
And then so people will go and they get angry towards them and they shame them and they do all this. Well, what happens is the people that are watching that are about to get rid of their animal, they don't want to deal with that. So you're getting the dumping and the euthanization, which we have dealt with. People will message and they're so fed up. They'll be like, if it doesn't have a home by the end of the day, it's getting euthanized in the morning.
Okay.
So, and the stress that puts on all of us because we're all trying to network to see what we can do.
Yeah.
But like people get frustrated with me a lot because I'm like, keep the negativity off the page.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm denying anyone's like right to have an opinion or to express it, but the big picture is it's about the animals.
Exactly.
And the negative comments aren't accomplishing anything. They're actually hurting the whole situation. So it's,
And sometimes you cannot help but rehome. You know what I mean? Like you may have little kids and then you may get a cat and one of your child is so allergic to this cat that you're constantly at the ER with like a puffer and all this kind of, well, I mean, are you going to have your child have emphysema? Well, no, you're probably going to rehome the cat. You know what I mean? Like there's certain issues or perhaps it's an elderly person who's passed away or who has to move into long-term care.
That happens all the time.
And now they can't bring their pet with them. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of circumstances.
Or they simply can't afford the vet care and the food.
Exactly.
And so it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
If you want them to keep it, but they can't afford to properly care for the animal,
I mean,
it's not helping anybody.
it's not a good situation
either.
for the for the animal either.
All for Paws. Like we created, it's a charity kind of. Well, we raise money.
It is a non-profit charity.
Yeah. And so we try and raise money to be able to help people. It's been kind of difficult lately.
Yes.
But, that was our initial thing was to try and raise money to help where we could to avoid those. And we've had some really sad stories on there, but it's helped.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
We have to thank one of our major sponsors, Twigs Coffee Roasters. They have 5 locations. They do. They have locations in North Bay, Sturgeon Falls, and in Sudbury. They have all kinds of specialty coffees. They have amazing, amazing coffees. They also have an incredible chai tea, which I'm pretty sure I talked about before. But I think I've had dreams about that chai tea. It was so good. They have wonderful baked goods. They have, all those morning glory muffins, all kinds of muffins and cookies, and their scones are delicious. They also have a big selection of gluten-free products. So if you're somebody who doesn't want gluten, who needs that option, they have you covered. Their cheesecakes are out of this world. They're crazy. They have pizza. They have these amazing sandwiches, the deli sandwiches. Oh my God. the freaking Montreal smoked meat sandwich with the pickles. The pickles are delicious. They're like the really sour, like the pickles you'd find like in Toronto in like the big barrels, like at the St. Lawrence Market that you would just take out, and they're in the cloudy water. They're so good. Okay, sorry, apparently I'm hungry. I need dinner. What else? Yes, espresso bar. Baked goods. We talked about all of this stuff. This is amazing. So listen, you can order online for pickup at twigs.ca. Oh, and coming soon, yes, I have to say that, coming soon, you can order their fresh roasted coffee beans direct to your doorstep because they have a distribution center right here in North Bay.
Sports aren't just what we do, they're who we are. Source for Sports North Bay is your advocate, your local support system, and your biggest fan. 1321 Fisher Street has grown from a place where knowledgeable experts can help you find exactly the gear you need, to the hotbed of team uniforms, apparel and fanwear, to a community stronghold for all the things that truly matter to you and your family's sports journey. We love helping you find your first pair of skates, as much as we relish supporting local leagues, teams, and athletes. Wherever your sports journey takes you, make sure you visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street so we can help you along your way.
And then what about, like we do have, many homeless here in North Bay, and quite a few of them have animals with them.
Right.
And is that something that Buster's Page does, or like in terms of just like, is there people to kind of go around and just like help with the welfare of those animals, or like give like a bag of food, or give? But I guess not, right? Because it's like, where do you have to fundraise to get that, or
boots
like
on the ground and that
boots on the
other
ground?
place
Yes, we had them.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, they do it.
So, and there is another one, I can't remember the name right now, but they go around, and I know Monique has too.
Yeah.
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 So there are
from
people
Pet
that,
Save.
yeah.
Oh, from Pet Save. Oh, Monique from
there
Pets.
are people
Okay.
who she'll do, like they'll do that. But then like the food bank also has
Right.
very minimal amount.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be my goal for 2025 is to get like a nice strong part of the food bank for pets.
For pets.
So people don't have to stress about their pets. They
That's
can
right.
stress about their kids. They can stress about their bills. They can,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's so many different reasons why people are using the food bank. And unfortunately, pets are the lowest on the totem
They're low on the
pole.
list. Sure.
So,
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but through All for Paws, there was there's somebody else that we work with. Her name's Deborah. She was able to get a whole bunch of food. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we're talking like 8 skids worth of food.
Like a transport.
From where?
Yeah, a few times from Temiskaming Animals First. I don't know. I don't know exactly how she did it, but she got this connection where all of this food was perfectly fine, but was going to expire. And you couldn't bring it to Walmart and let it be in a warehouse because it has to still have a certain date on it.
Right.
So she had it brought most of it to North Bay, and we got all sorts of people involved to pay for the transport and all that stuff, including Deborah. She was great for that. And we twice distributed all this food out. The police came and they helped one time, and they took a whole bunch. And I know that they went down to like the tent cities and stuff, and were giving out food and all that. So
yeah, and we put an open call, like just on the radio. If somebody needed food, just go down and pick it up. And we didn't put a limit on it because we had a lot.
Yeah.
So,
But
That's
Buster's
amazing.
Page will often put courtesy posts up, like if there's people who are homeless, like they're just in North Bay and they have a dog and they can't keep the dog and they want to go in the shelter or whatever. Like sometimes there is communication between Buster's Page, people, not us, but people using the page saying, you need a place for your dog for 2 weeks. I'll keep your dog.
No
while
way.
You figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Figure your
That's so
stuff
cool.
out.
I didn't even think of that option.
yeah, or fleeing certain situations, or and they need a foster, like a temporary
ASAP.
until they can get set up.
Yeah.
So we'll do without posting their information because some of it's sensitive.
Sure.
And we'll just say looking for a foster or whatever for this amount of time, and then it's behind the scenes, and they'll kind of talk back and forth. And
Talk about behind the scenes. Like, but this is the magic, right? You guys are all behind the scenes. Like, all of this stuff is just, like, people don't realize how much work goes into this. Sure, it's like it's a Facebook page. There it is. But what's happening behind that takes hours and hours of your time, like of your volunteer
I would
time,
say
you know?
way more of her time.
Yeah, like 11 years, I haven't had a day off from the page.
Right.
Like not a single day.
It's a full-time job. Like
Yeah.
this is, you know, getting the fundraising or just getting the word out or like liaising with, you know, somebody who's lost their pet. Like that's hours
there's
a day.
always, and like, well, just a simple thing like trapping, like there's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of stuff that has to be like lined up and ready, like the traps, who's watching, what are we using for bait?
Yeah,
you know, there's
yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff that goes on that people don't see, you know, and then sometimes they get a little frustrated with like, well, why haven't you trapped it yet? Well, it's not always that easy.
Right.
You know, it's like you need to know where they're hiding, where, you
Yeah.
know, because if not, you can set a trap anywhere. The animal's not there, you're not going to catch it.
You'll catch
Exactly.
something.
You'll catch
Yeah, you're gonna
something
catch a skunk,
that you don't want.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And then what is this like? Are there any rules that you have to follow because of the city? Because there's, you know, there's city, like the animal control or whatever will be because there's. You were saying
Humane
there's one.
Society's really good with us.
Oh, okay.
Like we always clear with them.
Okay.
Or like if it's on city property, we clear with whoever we need to clear with. Like we don't go on anyone's
okay.
property.
Okay.
You know, we prefer
We
like
ask them
private
first.
property.
Yeah.
Like it's always cleared, and they always have our contact information, and
Right.
we don't just go because there are laws that you know you can't like set a trap in the middle of the bush for an animal. You know, with you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, we always clear it with someone.
Yeah.
And the Humane Society has one big trap. Like we have a big trap, but
Yeah.
they have one that's like a nice tall trap.
Okay.
And they lend it to us whenever we need it, and it's never failed.
No.
You know what is the best? Anybody who's listening to this podcast, if you want to trap your pet, KFC, popcorn chicken, will catch any animal. Any animal.
Is that KFC, girl? Dang, really?
I won't
Yeah,
eat
there's no
KFC,
bones.
but
No,
so
I won't
it's
either.
perfect.
It's perfect.
Just load
I
it
won't
up.
either, but yeah, that's right. The little popcorn. It must be something about the oil and the crispiness
It's
and the
something- and
something.
it smells
Smells like
The
even when it's
smell.
freezing cold, you can still smell
That's
it. Like
right,
we've
that's
tried,
right.
we've tried some pretty interesting things.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we do it every single time we overload the trap. Like one time we had deer meat and we put like steak and we're putting all this stuff.
Bacon.
And it was like, well, you catch the dog that's hungry, it's
Right.
going to eat all
It's-
of it.
right.
So its little belly's
And then
all,
it's going to
like,
barf.
Oh, no, it's
I
gotta
know,
go to
I
the
know.
vet.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, what happens then? So you trap an animal. Then what happens? Like, where does it go? What?
Usually
like, how do
my
you?
daughter's dad is
Yeah.
one of those people that be like, well, it can come to my house until you can get it where it's got to go.
Yeah.
So he's awesome like that. Like he's
Nice.
really helped us a bunch of times.
Okay, and then it'll eventually like you reunite it. Like if it's somebody's pet,
Oh, if it's
obviously.
pet, yeah, then
right
the
away,
adult,
reunite.
the
And then
adults,
it's
the
up to
owners
the
get
owner
it.
then to take it. Then it would go
Yeah.
to the vet and do whatever it has to
Yeah.
do. Okay, and
Yeah.
if you're just trapping it, like what if it's a stray and you just does it automatically go to the Humane Society or
We haven't
or how does
brought
that?
one yet to the Humane Society.
No, we haven't brought one to
Oh.
the Humane Society yet. No, but the thing is, well, that's not true. Once I did because
Oh, the
remember
cats.
those? There were two cats. There was a dog and a cat dumped
Okay.
at the
Oh, yeah.
Cove.
this summer.
This couple who were caught on camera dumped a dog and a cat at the Cove, and then dumped two cats in the Schollard area.
I heard about yes, I heard
Right.
about this. Yes.
So, so I was there with Minik from Pet Save, but as Buster's page, and we were trying to trap this cat because somebody got the dog, which was
Oh,
great. Somebody
okay.
got the dog, but the cat was there, and people kept seeing it.
Yep.
Well, finally, this dog. So we didn't catch it. We couldn't catch it. But to answer that quick question is, we never set out a trap until we have a plan.
Right.
Unless it's like super freezing, and it's like, well,
Yeah,
if we
just
don't do anything,
get
it's
it.
going to die.
Right.
But, so we always have a plan, like for somebody to take the cat or who's going to watch the dog or whatever the case
Right.
may be. But it was really cool because this dog that was abandoned, the cat stayed in the area, and meanwhile, the dog went to the Humane Society, was processed, yada, 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 readopted. These people took the dog, walked over to the Cove,
Yeah.
and the cat came out.
Of
and they
course.
kept the cat.
Yeah,
And
so
we were
they're
like,
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
love it.
And then there's
Aw.
two that are still out there somewhere. Yeah, but
But yeah, we always clear, like if we're going to bring cats, go to the Humane Society. Because we usually catch litters or, you know, like
Right.
multiples, so it's hard.
Yes.
And we always clear it with them
Okay.
like, to make sure, okay, they have room because
Yeah.
it's not
or
fair
Kathy
to dump a whole bunch.
from
or-
All Heart
Pet Rescue.
Yeah.
or Minik from Pet Save.
Okay.
Or like fosters, like people
Yeah.
who we know will take over.
Yep.
yeah, Biscuit kind of caught us off guard a little bit.
Oh my God.
Biscuit.
That's our latest.
Huge. He's a huge dog.
Okay.
And we weren't expecting to catch him. And we were actually going to take the trap away. And the girl called and she's like, yeah, he's in your trap.
He's in there.
We don't even know how he fit in the trap. He got.
I was going to say, is this the Humane Society's big trap or no? This was just a smaller.
It was ours.
It was a coyote trap. He got in, but then of course he couldn't even get out. He couldn't want it.
He
to.
was like side to side and front to back.
way.
Like he was
His hair was like sticking through.
And he was just looking at us like, are you serious?
But some lovely people took him, and they were fantastic. So we drove him out to LD that night. And he was introduced, and now they have a little Facebook page because so many people were wanting to know about this dog Biscuit because all summer basically Biscuit was running around and people would feed it and stuff, but nobody was doing anything. You're like, but whatever, doesn't matter. So they
burns Tracy's
you know what they
butt.
did? It
problem.
does, but you know what they did do? They were posting it. On Buster's page, which is great.
Yeah.
So when we got the dog, we took the dog, and so many people were like, well, we want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So the woman who took the dog, now there's a page. It's called The Adventures of Finn. They named him Finn.
Finn.
And so you can technically go and check out Biscuit, Finn, and he's having a lovely life now.
Like living his best
And
life.
he had never been in a home.
No,
never didn't go upstairs. Like there was nothing. He was not socialized in any way.
Wow.
And now he sleeps on the couch and
living the life for Riley, little
Living
Finn.
the life. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
So what is your advice to people, or what do you want to see the future of animals be? Especially just talk about North Bay. What do we need to do to get them off of the, you know what I mean? To not have so many strays, to not have dumping, to not have that kind of stuff.
I would say microchip, spay and neuter. I think that it would be very important if North Bay had a bylaw where you could or have, maybe not a bylaw, that's not the right word. Somebody in North Bay should have some sort of program where it's a catch, a trap.
Yeah, like a
What do you call
TNR.
it?
A TNR,
TNR.
Trap and release.
Yeah, like a trap
for the
and
ferals,
release.
not pets, but
Right.
for ferals. And then down south they do it. They notch their ears, and then so when you see a colony, you can see they're all spayed and neutered. So if a new one goes, you trap it, and so you're not taking because a lot of those cats they can't they're
Rehome them.
they're feral.
Yeah, they're feral. Yeah.
There's one person, and that's Teresa Gilchrist, who owns Shady Acres, and she works with feral cats. She's amazing. But, I mean, it's a lot of work, and it takes a long time, so she's kind of limited. You know? But, yeah, so, I mean, if nothing else, they get to live out their life, but they're not bringing more into it, you know.
But the trap and release, so you trap them, especially cats.
Yes.
More so than dogs.
Yeah.
Trap the cat, have it spay neutered, and release it.
And release it.
But,
So is that something that, the vets would have to kind of do like a clinic? Would that be or is this just kind of but then you wouldn't know when you would trap them, right? So you'd have to kind of have like a vet on call or something, or just, hey, we just trapped a cat. Can you do,
Fairly not hard to trap, actually.
Yeah.
The feral cats, when we trapped at the ONR, and I had 3 of them in one trap.
Oh, shoot.
They just, as long
they're
as
just
there's
hungry.
food.
Yeah, they're just hungry.
But right before COVID hit, or as COVID was hitting, we were looking for, I had contacted the bylaw officer. We were looking to have an amendment in the no roaming cats bylaw.
Oh.
Because technically, the way it was and the way it was explained to me is if we trapped a feral cat, we're responsible for it because now that's our animal because it would be in our care.
Oh.
So you can't get it spayed, neutered, and then let it go because then you've abandoned the animal.
No,
So
right.
if there was an amendment to just be for feral cats, then we could go ahead with the TNR. And we had discussed it, we would raise money to try and if we had enough to do 5, we would do 5.
Right.
But
Right.
it's just
And I'm sure, there's amazing vets in this town, and I'm sure that you could, get a program going with, and have each vet, whoever wants to be part of it, right? And say okay, I'm on this month, I'm on this month, I'm on this, and then they would just kind of, they could donate their time or whatever to do that. I mean,
I'm sure the Humane Society would appreciate it too.
I'm putting it out there. Yes, the Humane
so.
Society. And I love that too. If you adopt from the Humane Society, they're spayed or neutered before they go home with you.
Yeah.
There's no
Absolutely.
choice. That's just it. It's just happening.
So right there, that's
it.
good. But there's so many rehoming. And you'll look on most of the rehoming that you'll see. They're not spayed. They're not up to date on their vaccinations. And it's that would eliminate a lot of the behavioral problems too.
Yeah.
So then that means that a lot of these rehomings and those dogs or cats are originally coming from elsewhere then. Because they're not coming from, Humane Society or whatever, All Heart Pet, because they're not spayed or neutered,
No,
right?
that's right.
So they're coming from out of town.
My neighbor next door has a cat. Now she's pregnant again.
Now she's pregnant.
So now she's giving away kittens, and it's
Well, and some people don't want to pay the rescue fees. But the rescue fee is actually a lot cheaper than the cost of doing all those things on your own. And you're getting an animal that's vet checked and spayed and neutered and all those things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're saving money. And it's always kind of a red flag when someone says, no, I don't want to spend the money doing that. It's like, hey, probably not going to get them spayed, or, like if you're not going to spend that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And animals, it is a cost. There's a cost to it. I mean, you buy a car, there's a cost to cars. You have to do oil changes. You have to put gas in your car. You have to, you know what I mean? It's not, you don't just buy it and that's it. Like there's stuff you have to do. So same thing with animals. I mean, it's a lifestyle change. There's a cost to it. And I definitely think sometimes it's not always thought through.
no.
Before getting a pet, and then all of a sudden it's kind of that last thing on the list,
Yeah. But going back just really quickly, I just want to make sure that, anybody who's listening to this knows about how, like Buster's page, we do a lot of trapping, but there are only a small amount of us that can actually do the trapping. So we often will lend out the trap, show people how to use the trap, and say, like, these are the do's and the don'ts, which are strictly for their own safety and also for the animal's safety.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if anybody, especially if you have an animal in your area, whether it's a cat or a dog, and they're always around, I guarantee you we can rescue that cat or that dog, or they can.
Yeah.
And we can help find a spot for them. So it's really important that people know they don't have to wait for us.
Okay.
We can provide them with the information and the equipment to do it.
It's so awesome to have a page like Buster's page that can reunite so many people with their animals. Keep the fund you guys, I mean, anybody listening here, honestly, like if you want to donate to Buster's page, or if you have maybe some toys or blankets or anything like that you guys could use in a trap. Keep sharing the posts.
That's
for sure.
It helps. Yeah,
keep it going.
So much.
That's awesome. Okay, quickly, I'm just gonna. This is a little bag of questions. It's fun. Did you do this the last time you were here?
I did this last time I was here.
I hope you don't get the same question.
Oh, we're gonna do it again. You want me to do it again?
Yeah, if you want. You don't have
Do
to.
I got one?
They're just little, I don't know, fun little questions, and then you get to, what is the question, Tracy?
What's the question?
We already know.
Oh, we already know.
Oh, is this the one about alcohol?
Yeah.
What does it say?
Name of the gin to try. Well, I would pick vodka.
So it's vodka or gin. Which one would you pick and why?
And it says, if gin, give me a name to try.
I know.
I don't have any
You're
suggestions.
vodka, eh? Girl, I have never met a vodka I liked. I do this. I do the little, what's your little question?
What you wish you knew before running a business? All the ins and outs with administration, perhaps, would be the best one. Like human resources.
Because you and Jeff have you have Good Riddance business, and then you also have Alter Ego, all your costume business. You got a lot going, and the Voyager. Holy frig! Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yes.
So the administration, you just mean in terms of just all of the payroll and the taxes and all that.
All that good stuff.
I would say the amount of time to get started.
It takes a lot. I mean, I don't have to do all of that.
Yeah.
But I would have probably learned more before I started.
Right.
That's okay, because there are other professionals to do that.
I loved what Tracy said. I love that little tagline. If you see something, say something, right? So, if there's an animal running around your neighborhood and you don't know what to do about it, go to Buster's page. They have the solution for you. And like they said, I mean, you're not in this alone. They will come to your house with a trap. They will teach you how to use it. They'll give you the do's and don'ts. They'll give you, the food to use to trap the animal. And then that way they can get out of the cold and they can have a nice, hopefully a comfy little home and live their best life. And that's what we want for all our animals. Because at the end of the day, I mean, everybody and anybody who looks after animals or who has some kind of a rescue or a charity, that's what they want, right? It's the welfare of the animal, and they just want them to be safe and happy and have a good life. So it was a blast talking to them. Maybe I'm going to have to try some vodka now. I don't know. Tracy was like, she's a vodka girl and a tequila girl. I mean, I can get behind that. I can get behind the tequila. But yeah, I'm gin. I'm gin strong. I am. Listen, wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's Apple, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, shoot us a like. Send us a comment, leave us a comment, or send us maybe an idea. Maybe you have somebody who you think should be highlighted on To North Bay with Love. We would love to hear from you. You can let us know, and maybe we'll get them on the show. Until next time, much love, North Bay.